Okay, so now we know about radiation and solid angles, we're in a position to work out how fires can spread. Now, experiments indicate that dry wood requires a heat flux of about 30 kilowatts per square meter to pyrolyze and spontaneously ignite. So that's enough heat to raise it to the 600 degrees or so, where it starts to break down and release the hot gas, and then ignites the gas. If there are sparks, which there usually are in a bushfire, then less radiation is needed, only about 10 kilowatts per meter squared. And we can see that's less than you get by being completely surrounded by fire, half of it or less. So basically, if you've got maybe half or a third of your total sphere around you covered with burning things, that's going to give enough heat to set fire spontaneously to wood. So the radiation is definitely strong enough to raise wood to high enough temperatures to set fire to it. And this is in fact the main way that fires spread. This is crucial to understanding how houses are destroyed. After the Canberra bushfires, many people were amazed because if you look along the main streets that were most damaged, some houses were destroyed and the house next door to it might be fine, and then another one destroyed, another one fine. How is it that some houses survived and some didn't? And a lot of it has to do with the solid angle and radiation. In particular, these wooden brush fences were often implicated in destroying houses, because when they burn they give a large surface area, and if it's close to a window, the solid angle as viewed through the window can be large enough that there's so much radiation coming in through the window that it can set fire to your furniture or to your curtains inside. So if you want to have your house fireproof, look out of every window that contains inflammable material and have a look and see what solid angle is covered with things that can burn. If that solid angle is large, then probably enough radiant heat will come in through that window to set fire to things inside. Houses in bushfire zones often have metal shutters you put across the window to stop that radiant heat coming in. You also want to make sure you don't have any wood on the outside, or you can just clear all the vegetation away. As long as there's no vegetation close to the house, you're not going to sit anywhere and see a solid angle that's large enough to set things on fire. This is actually what destroyed this telescope, the Yale Columbia telescope up at Mount Stromlo Observatory in the bushfire. This is a photograph I took a few days after the fire. What happened was the fire came in through the windows in the dome. The fire was disused and was actually being set up to act as a function room for a wedding the following day. And so there were stacks of chairs and you could see outdoor gas burners sitting inside. A bush or tree out the window caught fire, and the radiant heat from that, it was completely surrounding the window, so that was a large solid angle, so a lot of radiant heat came in and it set fire to some wooden furniture inside, and then that spread to the other furniture and the gas burners, and the whole thing burnt down from the inside out. And that's actually how all the telescope domes are destroyed. Heat got in, usually by radiant heat coming in through a window or something like that, set fire to things inside, and then they burnt from the inside out. So this whole solid angle thing is really important in the design of buildings in bushfires. The best way to avoid problems is to make sure there's nothing that can burn anywhere near your house. But of course, if you live in some outdoor area, people like to have trees and plants around the house. If it's a very wet, well-watered tree or plant, then it probably won't burn. But anything like dry mulch or these brush fences is a real problem, and dried out native small twigs. So you want to remove as much of that around your house as possible.